Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to give folks a little bit of time to trickle in before we get started here. Okay, so I'm Tom Porterfield, your moderator for today. Before joining Docyt, I led a CPA firm focused on serving franchise businesses using technology to provide customers with scalable accounting solutions. After we merged our firm, I took a short hiatus and I learned about Docyt and the AI-powered accounting automation of Docyt, and I joined the team recently. So been happy to be here and learn about AI. With me today, I have Corey Bowling, CPA and Manager of Account Success here at Docyt. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Tom. Excited to be here today.
Yes, we're glad to have you. Hey, let's start with you. Tell me about yourself and how you got involved with AI and accounting.
Yeah, so similar to you, Tom, I got my start in public accounting and spent the first 6 years of my career in that industry working at a mid-sized regional public accounting firm here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm based. While I was there, I got a lot of great experiences, got my CPA license, and I learned that I really loved working with business owners, helping them strategize and think about like how they wanted to execute their business goals. But I didn't love the long hours that we often see public accountants working, and I didn't love all the box checking involved. I felt that a lot of my time was being spent doing less, I would say, less exciting work, some stuff that really could have been automated. And so it led to some burnout. And so as I was looking to make an exit out of public accounting, I decided that the best way to kind of combat that was to pivot to customer success, focusing specifically at SaaS startups in the fintech industry. And that's where I've been focused the last 3 years. So, in these types of roles that I've had the opportunity to work in, I've gotten to continue to partner with those business owners, but it's been really exciting because I'm working specifically with business owners who want to leverage technology and streamline their processes to actually allow their employees to focus on like that more value added work, which has been really exciting for me to see that kind of mindset shift.
Yeah, that's great, and that's a great aspect of AI, taking some of those things that are probably of lower value and letting your employees get more involved in the higher value activities. So, although today, our topic is how to navigate tax season like a pro using AI. I want to start today. I want to start our discussion just about AI in general. And our agenda today is just an overview. We'll talk about strategies for tax season, what we can expect from AI in the future. We'll do our Q&A and then just have some closing remarks. But, to get started, Tiana's going to open up a poll. Sorry about that. She's going to open up a poll and just about AI in general. And just to kind of see where everyone's at. So if you'll answer that, and I can't vote in it, it's what it's telling me on my screen, but I'm going to move it over here and I'll get the results in a few minutes. But, when it comes to AI, it's developing so quickly. Most people have heard of AI, but, may not really know a lot about AI. One distinction specifically is the difference between precision and generative AI. Corey, can you give us a quick understanding of predictive and generative AI, what the meanings of those are?
Yeah, so I today wouldn't be a discussion about AI without the use of AI for some prep, I would say. So I actually utilized Microsoft Copilot to help me prepare to answer this question. And just a quick note on that. I really like Microsoft Copilot because it can explain things to you that are really high level in a much more simple manner. And it also, you can have it cite its sources. So, we'll be talking a little bit later today about the confidence level that you have in AI. Being able to go back and source check is really important. So, anyways, the prompt that I gave Microsoft Copilot today was can you explain the difference between predictive AI and generative AI? And pretend I'm a 5-year-old. And this is what it gave me. Imagine you're playing with two different types of toy robots. And the first toy robot is going to be called Precision AI. So this is like a super smart action figure. You can ask it to do specific things like walking in a straight line, picking up a toy, doing a little dance, and it's really good at performing exactly what you've asked it to do. So it follows those instructions precisely, just like Precision AI can help with tasks like sorting out receipts or calculating taxes and accounting. So then the second robot we're going to call generative AI. That's like a magic painting robot. So you'll give it like a general idea, like paint a sunset, and it's going to create a whole picture from that idea. So it might not be exactly what you imagined, but it's going to create something brand new and unique. And that's how generative AI can come up with like new ideas or new solutions that you might have thought of, like finding ways to save money in your business. So just to summarize, precision AI is great for specific tasks and following instructions, and generative AI is great for creating new things from general ideas. So they're both really useful in different ways.
Good deal. So I think we've got the answer to our polling questions. So it looks to me like 14% of you have heard about AI, but don't really know where to start. Another 43% have used Chat GPT or some similar tools like Copilot. 29% have a good understanding of AI and want to use it beyond Chat GPT. And rounding out the poll, 14% say I'm currently using AI-powered applications in my business today. So thanks for participating in the poll. Gives us a good idea of kind of where everyone's at. There's a lot of talk about AI in the news, and I was at the International Franchise Association convention a couple weeks ago. AI was a hot topic in all aspects of franchising. And about the same time, I saw a recent article from Financial Management Magazine that predicts generative AI will boost productivity in the task, and I'm talking about task of applying expertise and managing by over 33% versus those that don't use generative AI. So when it comes to applying an expertise or managing, if you're using generative AI, that's going to give you they predict a 33% advantage in productivity versus someone that doesn't use generative AI. And I think we've just shared that link to that article. It's a very interesting, short article, but very interesting article. It goes on to talk about the use of generative AI in specific roles, and while you'd expect a big increase in productivity in business and legal professions, perhaps, to my surprise, they estimate educator and workforce training roles to see a 39% increase in productivity. And it is followed by business and legal professions with a 30% advantage in generative AI, but they're looking for a huge advantage in education and training when it comes to using generative AI. So, Corey, we're just in the early stages of AI, but what have you seen in terms of productivity increases resulting from AI, and how long does it take for AI to see the benefits from AI?
Yeah, so I think you can look at that in a couple of different lenses. So first I'll talk through some personal experience, and then I'll talk about what we're seeing here at Docyt with some of the customers that we've been working with. So personally, I mean, obviously I just answered that last question with a prompt from Microsoft Copilot. I've personally seen a lot of time savings using AI, even just the free tools that are out there like ChatGPT or Copilot. In a couple of different manners. So previously, it might have taken me 30 minutes to draft like a solid email that I'm really happy with, communicating to a client about something really important. It took a lot of time for me to just get my thoughts out in a way that were professionally communicated, I would say. But now I can spit a couple of ideas into ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, or some of those other systems as well, and it can help me kind of formulate what that email should look like. So something that took me 30 minutes before is taking me more like 5 or 10 minutes to throw my ideas out there, get kind of a more organized view of it, and then edit that and send it out. So that's quite a bit of time savings that I've seen just using that one example. And there are a lot of other ways that you can use those systems too to kind of help you brainstorm and think about like building out internal policies, um, which do save a lot of time, I think, in the long run.
Mhm.
So that's really helpful. And then from like a Docyt perspective, what we're seeing with our customers, there is a little bit of time that you've got to spend on the front end teaching the system some of your unique nuances and tasks that need to be completed. So I always like to compare it to an intern. Um, just like because you've got to train them, you've got to show them where the bathroom is on the first day. You've got to teach them like how you like to see your reconciliations completed, for example, because different managers have different preferences. We all know this. So there's a little bit of teaching. But what's really nice is that AI is going to pick things up a lot faster than like you or me or an intern are going to pick things up. I remember back as an intern trying to learn some of those basic tasks, and some of them were easy to pick up, but it really took me like a year to feel like I was confident knowing what I was doing and could come in and do things without direction. We're seeing that it's taking far less than a year for AI to learn that. So we're looking at a matter of months, like I would say like 2 to 3 months tops, where you see that kind of change happen. And so, I mean, when you're looking at that, that's like a what 25 to 30%. That's 25 to 30% time that you're spending on something that used to take a lot longer. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. And then the last thing I want to mention is we recently published a case study about one of the accounting firms that's using our product. And he was seeing about 12 hours per month in savings over approximately 2 to 3 customers, I believe. So if we think about what we could do with that extra 12 hours, or if we maximize that out across a lot of your businesses, that time savings can really bring a lot of returns to you.
Oh yeah, and that's really in the accounting environment, time is money, right? So when we do save time, and we reallocate it to something of higher value, we really did have a savings and a benefit there. So when we think about taxes, we often think about finding strategies to minimize taxes, but it really starts way before the tax filing season, right?
Yes, you caught me mid-drink there.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
um, but yeah, so we're in March 5th. So, like we're getting really close to the deadlines for business taxes to have been filed. 1099s had to be sent out at the end of January if you're working with any contractors. Personal taxes are going to be due soon as well. So, the message I want to put out there is if you're thinking about your 2023 taxes today, like you're behind. You should really be planning today for what 2024 and 2025 are going to look like. You need to be thinking about those all year long and have an idea of the direction you want your business to head so that you can make the right decisions to maximize your tax savings or minimize how much taxes you need to pay each year. Knowing those goals ahead of time can really help you make the business decisions that are required throughout the year instead of trying to get your tax accountant on the phone when you're thinking about making a purchase. You guys have already talked about this and kind of planned it out, and you know whether that purchase makes sense this year or not. So
hmm
I think, effective planning as soon as you can get ahead of it really makes all the difference.
Yeah. And so AI's role in that is throughout the year.
Yeah, that's correct. So you can use AI throughout the year to complete your bookkeeping, which really helps your tax accountants when it comes time to file those taxes. Um, some people are on a quarterly tax filing schedule. Some people are on an annual tax filing schedule, but regardless, like having the confidence that your books have been recorded accurately and they're up to date, and also having the time to really analyze what's been recorded on your books and think about the implications for your business, um, can really pay tenfold.
Yeah, that's great. So at the end of the year, if you're a business owner, you've got a good set of books to hand off. If you're an accountant, you're picking up a good set of books to start with. So kind of along the lines of the same line of thinking there, does AI play a role in closing the books on a monthly and an annual basis? And how involved is AI in that process? Does it reconcile and review accounts? Is there a human element in overseeing the AI technology? I threw a bunch of questions at you there.
Yeah, so the one thing I want to be really clear on is AI is not coming to take our jobs, or at least not today, right? There's always going to be some sort of human element. It might change over time what the role of that person is playing. So, um, today you might have a team member at your company who's responsible for reconciling what's been recorded in your general ledger to the bank statement each month and making sure that those balances look accurate. But when you're utilizing AI, suddenly the time spent on those reconciliations is significantly less because all of those transactions are getting coded and you have confidence that what's been recorded is also going to come back and match what's on the bank statement, which really helps. Um, so with that, your time gets freed up from searching for pennies that might be wrong in the reconciliation. I've definitely been guilty of that in my early years. Uh, and instead of searching for those pennies or trying to figure out what's going on with that reconciliation, you're able to look at, again, the books as at a whole and start to think about how you want to use the money that's coming in to build the business or build an exit strategy for you, depending on what your goals are.
Yeah, being able to make better decisions because you have better and more timely information, definitely, which is really part of the tax planning process as well. Thinking about all the things that go into like a business tax return, are there some areas of accounting that AI is beyond what AI is capable of today?
Yeah, I would say that judgment-based accounting decisions are still going to require an element of human participation. When we think about things like deciding what type of depreciation method to apply to your fixed assets that you've got, vehicles and equipment that you might have for the company, there's a couple of different methods that can be used. And so you still want somebody who's like really well versed in those different methods and the reasoning behind using those to help you make the best determination. So things like that, I think that require a little bit more judgment. You can certainly leverage AI to help you make a more informed decision and really consider all the information that's available. But I think that still requires that element of human participation as well.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So based on your experience, can we expect the AI to develop functionality in those gaps soon? How quickly is it, fulfilling some of these gaps that we see out there, like what you mentioned on making the depreciation and bonus election decisions?
I think even in the last year, we've seen AI progress very rapidly in terms of its capabilities. And so I do think that those changes could happen in the future. In terms of like how long, I'm hesitant to estimate, but even when we think back to like uh, when the World Wide Web became a thing. Previously people used to have to get all their information from encyclopedias, and then suddenly we had Google and we could search things. And I know I'm oversimplifying it a little bit, but it seemed like the world changed overnight. And I think we're seeing that with AI as well. And I think that those changes are even occurring faster than we saw them happen in those days.
Yeah, definitely faster, as things develop. So, with AI improving the overall quality of books and records, how does that help the business owner when working with their accountant?
So when you have the AI involved in helping do some of the bookkeeping and coding and categorization, and you've spent that time to really train it up and make sure that it's operating as intended, then an accountant is able to just pull a trial balance from the software. They have the confidence that most things have been recorded properly, and they're able to actually go in and knock out that tax return, for example, a lot sooner. It also frees up the time that they would have spent digging into like things that might have been off previously, where like a human might have made a mistake coding, or we all know those dreadful QBO rules can break from time to time and things get put into the wrong bucket. So not having to play that role of investigator, or at least on the level that they do without AI, really frees them up to help think about your tax strategies and business goals and how you want to partner to achieve those.
Mhm.
So, you know, you get what you pay for. You also like, there's the expression garbage in, garbage out. If you're one of those people that calls your tax accountant up on March 5th and you're like, okay, I haven't done anything all year, but I've got to get this tax return done, they're not really thinking about, the things that you really want to from a tax accountant. Honestly, they're thinking about, how do I get this done and get this deadline met and make sure that everything's right. So freeing up that time so they can use the vast amounts of knowledge that they've accumulated, I think,
Mhm.
can really provide value to you in your business
Yeah.
planning.
Yeah. So, and then from the other perspective, so, if from the perspective of the accountant, how does working with the customer's books that have utilized AI aid in that tax prep process?
Yeah, so when we freed up the accountant's time, like suddenly we get to move our focus from making sure that all the expenses have been captured properly to interim tax planning, looking at like what we've put into the tax payments so far, and whether we need to increase or decrease our tax payments accordingly. Thinking about, again, if you need to make some purchases for the business, does that make sense this year or next year? Doing some of that strategization with your tax accountant. They are also able to work on your returns earlier, so you're avoiding extensions and potential late filing fees related to that. Nobody likes those. And I think we all know this time of year, like it's really hard to get a hold of your tax accountant. They're not really ready to just pick up the phone and take a call from you in the middle of the day to answer your tax question, because they're inundated with all of these returns that they've got to get out the door. So working with them and making sure that they have the things they need to do their job effectively helps them to focus more on providing you those advisory level services that you really want from your CPAs that you're working with.
Yeah.
And then all of
So,
these things, oh, go ahead, Tom.
well, I was going to say, so if you're utilizing AI and you have good books, it kind of sounds like you might get preferential treatment from your CPA or tax advisor.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. The people who are more responsive to requests are typically more likely to get served quicker, I would say. If you don't respond to your tax accountant when they're asking for things or having questions, then you're probably going to get moved to the back of the queue, just with the nature of the work that they're dealing with right now.
Yeah,
And if,
there's a
if
lot of
we're
it.
being honest too, like there is a CPA shortage out there right now. I think if you guys follow any of the accounting publications, you're seeing it. Like there's fewer accounting students coming into college. There's fewer people sitting for the CPA exam. And I think a lot of this comes from the type of work that they're being asked to do initially. And so if you're getting your CPA and doing all of that work to get that additional certification, and then you come into a job and you're asked to chase a client for bank statements, like I just don't think that there's a lot of like job satisfaction associated with that. So I think we're seeing a lot of that. So if we're the kind of people working with our tax accountants where we're getting them everything and we're asking them questions and giving them that opportunity to focus on the advisory services, um, they're more engaged, they're happier, they're more likely to stick around and learn more and provide you even more value, which just helps everything, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely will have an impact on the accounting profession, for sure. AI is got a lot of opportunity in accounting. So far we've talked about AI in general and how it creates better books to be used in the tax process. Before we continue, I'd like to know if any of you are currently using AI in your accounting process. We'll be launching another poll here to collect your responses and share them in just a few minutes. So if you'll just take a second there and answer, it's pretty easy, yes, no, or unsure. And let us know where you're at in terms of using AI in your accounting process. So I'll share those results here in just a moment. I can clearly see how AI is improving the quality of financial data. And although Docyt doesn't provide customers with tax advice or preparation, we do work with a lot of accounting firms that provide that service to our mutual clients. In working in this world of AI with tax accountants, what are some of the things we can expect AI to do in the future as it relates specifically to tax planning and preparation, Corey? I think you're on mute.
Ooh, two things initially come to mind. So one is enhanced data analysis, and I know we've touched on this a little bit already, but we've seen that AI can really process and analyze data a lot faster than you or I can. And so utilizing the AI to assist with this type of work really enables our tax and accounting professionals and even our business owners to make more informed decisions. The other area that I'm seeing like this potential improvements in the future is going to be with improved compliance and risk management. So in addition to processing that data, they're analyzing it a lot faster, and AI is able to perform predictive analytics even faster than humans can. So that enables improved risk management and process development, which again is going to enable our business owners to make more informed decisions.
Yeah, yeah. That's good to see that, improved compliance is part of it. If you're serving, if you're in public accounting or a tax advisor serving clients, I think you would feel a lot better knowing that AI has helped you improve compliance and manage the risk for your customers. Are there any other aspects of AI that directly affects tax accountants?
So I think as we start to see this shift towards generative AI as well, we're going to see that have more prevalence in tax planning as well. So as it continues to gain traction, it's expected to reinvent how companies scale and transform their workforce. And it's going to expand capacity for value creation in general. So we talked about with our generative AI robot, we tell it to paint a sunset and it's going to go and create this great idea for you. Might not be what you expected, but I think we can see that with tax planning too. We could say, based on my business, here's my goals, like these are my financials. What do you think I should be doing, or what are some tangible items that I can do to adjust and reach those goals? And I think we're going to see the generative AI come up with some really creative solutions there.
Yeah. I'm going to see if we have the results of our poll available. Looks like we do. And so the question was, are you currently incorporating AI into your accounting process? And 29% say yes, they are currently integrating it into their accounting process. So they're a little bit ahead of the rest of the class. 43% said no, but I would like to. I like that. We can tell you about Docyt. And then 29% say that they're unsure. They just don't know at this point. So 29% yes, 43% no, but they'd like to, and another 29 don't know for sure. They're unsure. So as it relates to accounting and tax, Corey, can you see other changes that AI will bring about?
Yeah, so I talked a lot about just like broader job satisfaction in general
Mhm.
by utilizing AI for some of those mundane and routine tasks. I think that a big thing that we're going to see for tax and accounting firms and professionals is just an improved impact on the roles and career paths. We're going to see new opportunities created for both traditional and non-traditional tax professionals. And then in addition to that, these advancements that AI is making are making it easier than ever for accounting firms to speed up those tasks that we've talked about that are more routine or mundane. Analyzing massive amounts of financial data, spotting patterns and anomalies, and reducing human error, even keeping up with changing laws and regulations. And so all of that combined is just going to help these professionals to really provide like higher level services to their clients.
Do you think the AI will fall asleep when it reads tax code and case law?
That's the great thing about AI. It never sleeps. So that stuff might have taken you or me like 3 or 4 reads before we really got it, but it's able to process
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I could see that it would be a real good tool looking at current and change, laws in the tax area. So, another thought along that line, can you see a time when AI begins to maybe even assign accounting and tax task to areas that require human interaction and possibly even managing businesses and in accounting firms, capacity, scheduling, for us humans that need to be around? Will the AI be telling us what to do?
Yeah, so I think that there's already a lot of ways to automate task assignments in various systems today. And I think that it's inevitable that AI is going to be doing this for many businesses eventually, helping them, with their capacity planning and thinking through that. But at the end of the day, AI is a tool to help us better succeed and achieve our goals and, hopefully clock out a little earlier and enjoy our lives as well. So,
Yeah, especially as spring comes along here.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a great tool that businesses can leverage. I don't think that we'll be in a place where AI will or the robots will just be managing the full business, though.
Yeah, yeah. There's no doubt AI is being used across businesses, almost all businesses and industries today. For a company that doesn't think employees are using AI, they're wrong. Employees are using AI in their jobs today, whether you know about it or not. What should companies, large and small, do in regard to managing how employees engage the AI?
So there's a few things that I can think of off the top of my head with regards to that. First thing that I want to mention is, Tommy said it, like the employees are using AI, whether you know it or not. So you really want to consider ways that you can protect your business from AI powered fraud or theft and adapt your internal IT training protocols to include this. Many of the businesses I've worked at have required me to go through internal security training where I practice how to identify phishing attempts or spam emails and things like that. And you teach your employees not to respond to that random text from the CEO asking them to go buy a bunch of Apple gift cards for employees or something. So I think we really need to think about how AI is going to affect business, and that needs to be an aspect of those internal security training processes. I talked about using AI to help me generate emails. Something that's really important with regards to that is understanding the tool that you're using and whether or not it's taking the information that you feed it and using that for additional information later. Certain client information really should not be, or even personal business information as well, shouldn't be shared with like ChatGPT if you're using the free version, because it's going to keep that information and use it later on as well. So you want to be really cognizant of that and make sure that your employees understand that as well.
Yeah.
But
Good.
even aside from a security perspective, you also want to be training your employees in AI on foundational and application specific training, making sure that they are comfortable using it and have a solid foundation with it. Because as we've seen over the last year, it's continued to grow quite a bit. We're going to see the prevalence of AI just continue to increase. So you really want your employees well versed in that. Um, Not only so that they can provide better work and faster work for you, but also so that I think that you're viewed as a competitive employer as well. Like if if you're still at a company where we're doing things on paper, I think some employees are going to view that as a negative versus things that are done on the computer. And it's the same thing when we're thinking about like AI. Um, Two other areas that I want to mention is developing processes for incorporating AI into customer and client interactions. So, maybe you can use that to help you draft those emails for specific client interactions or develop standard templates that your team can follow to help complete their processes more quickly. That's really helpful. Or even interacting with an AI powered bookkeeping tool and how we want to think about that as well. And lastly, I would say that if you haven't started, you really want to start planning now for how AI is going to change your organizational structure and employee development plan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to think about there. And, when it comes to AI, I could see, if someone were making a decision about going to work for a different, couple of different firms, they had offers in. To me, of course, I love technology, but to me, the company, the entity with a progressive stance on AI technology would be of a lot more interest to me than someone that's maybe handling things, traditionally how it's been done historically. So it's a good opportunity along the lines of that career path and how you develop people. So Corey, we're almost out of time here. I'm going to give you one more chance. Any parting words you want to say?
Just want to remind people like this is a really great tool and the robots are not coming to take our jobs. So a little bit of light humor there, but just always want to remind you guys when you're leveraging AI, it really just it enhances what you're able to accomplish.
Okay. All right. I'm going to look over here and see, and I think you probably have access to the questions. So I'm gonna go with the first one here. So if AI will do my taxes, why do I need an accountant?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So, I would say one, today AI is not filing your taxes on your behalf. And one thing that's great about AI, it can analyze all that data and help you be better prepared for your taxes. But utilizing that tax and accounting professional to help you think about the goals that you want to achieve for your business and how you want to get there are really important. And so, you want to use somebody that's like a CPA who's well versed in your industry and your local laws and even the federal laws, just to make sure that you have all of that knowledge available to you.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Tom, would you add anything else to that?
Um, I think that there's always going to be the human element there, and you're gonna, anyway, it's AI is not going to do everything for you. You need to have some of that human interaction. And for a practitioner, if you were a CPA, it really gives you an opportunity to better serve your customers and and really offer service that maybe is beyond what someone that doesn't utilize the AI. Remember that competitive advantage we talked about in the beginning. If you utilize it right, you really should have a competitive advantage in the tax area. So, and I think Cameron, let's see, yeah, it looks like we answered your question regarding the recording. I think that will be sent to all the participants today. Um, let's see. I have another question. Just started using AI to answer medical questions that I am simultaneously texting between my family. It works great. if you know how to use it and if you have some knowledge on the subject. So that's interesting coming from Mario. So apparently he's using an AI app to answer medical questions, which maybe kind of help through maybe potential diagnosis of a situation. That's interesting. There's going to be a lot of development in the medical field with AI, I'm sure, as well. I don't know that the same app will file your taxes though for you, but it might help you resolve a medical issue. So another question here, I've heard about AI making up information, specifically fake law cases that were used in a court filing. Can we trust AI when it comes to our finances and taxes?
I think that's a really fair question. And I think that, something that we always want to consider is checking our sources, citing our sources, making sure that the information that we're consuming is relevant. One of the things that I like to do when I'm using like free versions of AI to answer questions or give me information on court filings, for example, is I will actually ask it to cite its sources. And Microsoft Copilot does a really good job of this. When it feeds you answers, it will include like little footnotes,
Mhm.
similar to what we see on Wikipedia, like the little 1, 2, 3, and then that's linked to a URL with the specific information that it pulled from there. So then you can go in and look at that document and see if it's from a credible source or if you feel that it's not accurate. So just like we would if we're doing a Google search or if we're asking someone a question, we might, go and back that up and get a second opinion, make sure that what we're looking at is accurate because you're absolutely right. Like AI is learning very quickly, it's processing a lot of information, and sometimes that information isn't correct. And so you just want to make sure that you're able to make sense of that. The thing
Yeah.
that's really nice about it is where you used to do a Google search and you might get stuck on WebMD diagnosing your headache with cancer, for example. I know we've all done that. Or even just searching for specific court filings. You've got to get really particular with specific keywords, and then you've got to sift through like 12 different articles and figure out which ones look right. And so the AI is kind of doing some of that work for you, giving you that like dossier, I would say, ahead of time that you can kind of go through and make those decisions about.
Yeah, great. I've got another question here that came through the chat, and it is, how do I convince my tax clients to use AI to answer typical tax questions? I think that's a great question. And just kind of thinking of it, hadn't thought of that question before, but if I were, still working in my CPA firm, I would be looking at maybe having the AI incorporated into my website, right? Where maybe my customers could at some level have access and answer, ask those questions maybe through an AI chat that's available out there. And if you did that, you're kind of doing twofold things. You're getting information that they need, like kind of, instantaneously to them. You're also getting a record of what they're asking, right? That you can go back and look at. You could follow up on it, and you could say, I could call you back and say, hey, Corey, I noticed that you searched if your Ford F-150 qualified for Section 179 bonus election, and we gave you an answer through our AI chat. Is that all you were kind of interested in? Did we answer that question? What can we do to help you, make a decision or whatever? You could utilize that to launch into a conversation. So I think we've covered the questions now. And I'm going to give a shout out here to our new Docyt University, which we recently launched. It's an online training and certification program for current and aspiring accountants who want to be on the forefront of AI and accounting. If you scan the QR code that's there on your screen right now, you can check out the course offerings and register. Upon completion, you'll receive a certificate badge that you could add to your LinkedIn, for example. So leave that up here a few more seconds if you want to do that scan that QR code. And if you didn't get it, well, you'll get a copy of the content, so you'll have the QR code there if you're interested in Docyt University. We'll get you signed up there. And then the final slide, just a demo call out if you you know are just if you have questions about learning about Docyt's AI powered accounting platform, and maybe how it could help your business prepare for tax season, reach out to us. The QR code's right there. You can do that. You can call us at 1-877-400-1088, or you can email us. Just simply email us at contact@docyt.com. So I think we've covered everything today. Corey, I really want to thank you for your time today. I know what your calendar looks like because I've tried to book time with you in the last couple of weeks. You're busy, and I appreciate the insight into what AI is doing and how people can use it to be better prepared for tax season.
Thanks so much, Tom. I've really enjoyed this. It's been a great opportunity and just really excited to share this information with everybody.
That's great. I want to thank everyone that joined us today and all the people that work behind the scenes. Tiana did a great job getting everything lined up for us. Thank you, guys. Take care and be careful with this AI.
Thanks, everyone.